Alright, Teamer Mutate. This is one that we tried a little bit of, and it felt okay early on. Haven't really poked at it since Luca took over the format. Basic idea is that we play a bunch of Mutate cards, then we get Starrix going here, which is whenever this creature mutates, exile cards, X cards to the top of your library until you exile X permanents, and then you put all those permanents onto the battlefield. This notably puts lands into the battlefield untapped, so when you have things like Baby Godzilla and Raptor and Collector here, you can constantly keep mutating, which is nice. We also have King of the Cosmos, lets us flip extra things into play, so both of these cards together, along with our various other mutators here, allow us to build a pretty big board pretty quickly in some games. And then we've got a cheeky Purphoros bronze-blooded here, so when we are flipping large amounts of our deck onto the board, they can often just have haste and attack right away. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this one and see how it goes. We're still pretty low ranked for being 2 weeks into the month. I expect we probably won't hit Mythic until the Historic Ladder comes back on the 21st. Have not been hammering nearly as much Standard recently. Yeah, I'm glad the Historic Ladder is going to be always on soon. That'll probably be what we ladder with the majority of the time. Moving forward, I need to figure out, so Saturday's the MCQ. I got to decide if I want to play in that, and if so, what. This hand's great. Hey, Dwight. Did you see we played Storm Herald yesterday? And Darktype got some really solid upgrades in the new set. Hey, thanks for the 24 months, G-Man. Welcome back. I appreciate you poking me to work to play that one after I told you I wasn't interested the first time. Yeah, I put it up. I ended up putting it up on the website too. Yay! Counterspells! Yay! Fun magic! There's a chance that... we want to cycle this land with Greathorn in hand, so we're going to hang out for a second. Yay! Fun magic! Yay! Can't wait to spend my birthday tomorrow watching VODs from Day. Thanks for entertainment. Hey, happy early birthday, Mike. I appreciate the bits. Welcome back. The only upgrade you made was Reunion. We played the Reanimate spell was, like, really good. Yeah, it's just like, and this is kind of what exhausted me last Standard season. Just getting constantly Brazen Borrower, Tefreed, and Aether Gusted is just like, it's exhausting. It's just the only word for it. There were 4 aggro decks in the top 8. There were 4 aggro decks in the top 8 of the Magic Fest over the weekend. And the only aggro deck that won the quarterfinals won the quarters because it played an aggro mirror. The other 2 aggro decks that played against greedy mid-range control decks lost to the greedy mid-range control decks. Yeah, the fact that Call gives Menace and Death Touch too is, like, also exceedingly relevant at multiple points when we played yesterday. Death Touch especially. Death Touch with Trample is real great. Fires is broken and unfair. I mean, I think comparing fires to Wilderness Reclamation is probably fair because they both effectively double your mana. I think comparing fires to Embercleave doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. A Blue Fire, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Sean Bruno, thanks for the 21 months. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 3rd Hoots tournament. Should be sweet. One of the members of Hoglandia did us up a bunch of really sweet overlay stuff, which I'm looking forward to playing with. Whole production should look a scotch more professional for the next one. Excited to slowly morph and evolve what we can do with it all. Yeah, Crocs out of the sideboard was A+ excellent, so was Questing Beast. Have I played Temur Mutate in Historic? We've not. It doesn't really get anything meaningful other than mana. Like, there aren't any cards in Historic that you gain for the archetype. Yes, yeah, you can technically turn 3 people. Is accurate. Again, this is one of those, like, the game's not technically over yet, but we basically can't win, right? They have 7 cards in their hand. They have plenty of mana. The game hasn't ended, but we can no longer win the game, is what it comes down to. Pretty easy. Pouncing Sharks out. Armored Killers in. Click Submit. It's a click Submit. I don't think I want Borrower here. I think I'd rather just have this. Because this deck has a lot of synergies between it, you don't want to dilute too much. Have you not gotten around to putting the 2 decks? I asked for build-arounds in the queue. If I missed something that you added, ping me, Fox, and let me know what I missed. If there's things you sent me dollars for that should be in the queue that aren't, I just missed them at this point. Please ping me in a DM or an email and let me know. Are there any non-meta decks in Standard that have a chance of being competitive? Not in my experience, Stormy Waters. The format got really hostile to slightly underpowered decks really quickly. The decks that are good in Standard are doing really powerful things, and the card pool isn't deep enough, it doesn't feel like, to work outside of the norm. A lot of the things that we were playing that felt reasonable to start quickly fell off. Hope your newborn's doing well. So this hand is a good setup. We get to go Raptor into Collector and then hope to peel some mutate creatures. Yeah, I really like the mutate mechanic too. If I could design a card to answer Standard's biggest problem, what would it do / look like? You can't. You need to ban something. You can't just print answers to things. Sometimes cards are just too obnoxious. I'm actually not doing a fundraiser day, Beansy. I had some there's some logistical stuff, and yeah, I took that tweet down. Just a normal stream today. The problem always has and always will be Teferi Time Raveler. The problem with Standard has never not been Teferi Time Raveler and will always continue to be Teferi Time Raveler. The format has lots of good answers and tools in it, and counterplay, almost all of which is largely negated by that card. I'm looking forward to the fall. Yep. If Standard doesn't have some kind of big change, we're probably going to be a mostly historic stream until the fall. I've got like 10 decks left in the queue once we get through those. No, probably not. I don't think Teferi's an inherently bad character design. Like, I know a lot of people complained about it when it was Standard legal, but I actually think 5-mana Teferi's a pretty sweet Planeswalker design that's pretty close to reasonable. I think he gets pretty close to hitting the mark. I might take a very small number of decks with the core set, but unless they ban things, I don't really expect Standard to change with the core set, especially when you consider, like, the core set will be adding an 8th set to an already big Standard format, so, like, every time you add a new set to a bigger format, it has less of a chance of making an impact. Yeah, the aggro decks in this format, in my opinion, don't actually tend to be very good. I think they see play for 2 reasons. One, I think people hate playing the tedious mirrors, and 2, you know, when you win, they are fun. But I feel like you have to go far, play far. You have to run really far above average a lot of the time. I think my opponent cast the wrong card there. I also don't think it matters. Thanks for the 14-month Scholar. Yeah, I mean, there's a Teferi set coming over the summer, but, like, if you look at the Chandra set, like, we had a Chandra set as the last core set, and the Chandra set didn't include any reprint Chandras, right? They gave us 3 new ones. And honestly, all 3 of the new Chandra designs in that Chandra core set were, like, super reasonable. Again, the game hasn't ended yet, but I can no longer win. Fires of Invention, Wilderness Reclamation, the adventure decks. These are the big 3 go over the top decks. I don't feel like any brews that are kind of in the middle or kind of controlling feel like they can compete with any of these archetypes in my experience in Standard right now. You can try and get under them and punk them out, but again, the aggressive decks just like they feel like they lack consistency in this format. The mana for them is just not good enough. We are playing 2 of the last core set Chandras in the next deck. And the next deck is an aggressive deck, so maybe we'll be able to punk some people. Yeah, could you imagine if, like, Teferi static text, you had to, like, 0 it, and it was like, okay, till next turn after you 0 this happens? Oh, okay, so Phantom Q. So I've been in the queue for what feels like a long time. I try to cancel but can't. So my queue here is hung. Aren't my sponsors lovely? My sponsors love the stability that Magic Arena provides. These folks are lovely. Consider buying their stuff. Consider patronizing their businesses. Please. Oh, and now Magic Arena is not responding when I try to close it. Weird. Weird. Morning, Kenix. Oh, and now it's taking a long time to reload. Now it's taking a long time to reload. Where's my... Oh, we're checking for updates now? Oh. Oh, did the servers die? The status page cannot be reached. Well, that's not good. What do you mean the status page can't be reached? Why isn't this on a different server? Why isn't this on a different server? Who put the status page on the same server as the game? Y'all still see me, right? I've dropped 0 frames. Where's the status page for the status page? I need the status page. Yeah, I can't access anything MTG related, arena related. Their MSI file download link is busted at the moment. This isn't working. Are their forms alive? Nope, their forms appear to be dead too. The system is down. The system is down. Alright. I don't intend to play it, but I'm just going to see if I can connect to Magic Online. I was going to see if Moto can connect. WotC is a small indie company, you should understand. Thanks for the tier 2 sub, Isabus. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright. Apparently, Moto is powered by a different set of hamsters. Apparently, the hamsters powering Magic Online are different than the hamsters powering... Oops! Something went wrong. Please close the launcher and try again. Oop! Oop! Is it alive? It's... alive! Oh, and it's back. It's back. Oh, it's all loading again here. And again, the issue's not on my end, chat. I dropped zero frames on Twitch. Everything else on my internet is working. It was not on my end, as is always the case. Stable, release-ready software here. Someone cast momentary blink on the server. It's funny because it's true. That's a good one. Someone cast momentary blink on the server. The server's having a case of the Mondays, chat. Nobody told the servers we're currently all quarantined and every day is Blur's Day, so it's just feeling bad about the Mondays. Hey, thanks for the 3/4 of a year, Psycho Squirrel. Welcome back. I think I'm going to keep this. If we draw an untapped green on one, the hand's quite good. And if we just draw any land in our first 2 draws, it's fine. Yeah, someone else said Croaky's just got bumped out as well, so... I don't know. Some kind of momentary hiccup. It's back now. It's alive! Random ZZRVB, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. I was going to make a card session for Winota, but then I looked at the list. I couldn't find anything to cut, so I'll shut up now. Yeah, I'm excited to put Winota, or to put the what's it called in there. This is a new card. Ziggurat will be great. Untapped land tier so we can play Collector would be great. What looks very similar? The deck we're playing, or the deck the opponent's playing? Our deck. Yeah, we played something like this. This deck went 5-2 at... This deck went 5-2 at the first Hoots tournament. The first Hoots, or the second Hoots standard tournament. Second one. Feedback on that, by the way. Are we just supposed to keep counting numerically with the Hoots? If I plan to only do one a month, do we call them like February 2020, May 2020, June 2020? That's awkward if I suddenly want to do 2 in a month. What do we? Anybody have thoughts or opinions on that? You eventually skip numbers and just throw it at X or something like Xbox. Ooh, Grixis. There's any chance at all you change the frequency events, you should number them. Yeah, I think there's a chance that, like, once we have the whole future child sorted out, that we end up doing them more frequently. I think you should name them after arbitrary cities so it feels like a tournament. That's great. Sub to say, my face when a product of this amount of users does not have high availability set up as a software developer. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, randoms. Welcome back though. Thanks for the prime. Who's going to Hooglandia Wars? We just named them, that would be funny. Just name them after random cities. That would actually be really funny. Hey, Windowhead, thank you for the very generous tip. Been loving Just Kyluris and Historic. I don't see the queue. Put this towards adding it back in. If it's there and I missed it, put this towards bumping it up. It's not added back in yet. And thanks for submitting it. I actually I wanna, if that one goes well again the second time, and I'm hoping it will, I'm planning to put that one up on the website too. How do you feel about mutating onto Grazer or Baby Godzilla there? I couldn't mutate onto either. Also, the loot... I was trying to kill their Narset before I started mutating, because looting with this isn't optional. So, like, when I mutate this now, I literally just have to discard a card, which sucks. Yeah, and like I assume we're about to get we just can't win. Is the TLDR. The TLDR is just we can't win. They have a Luca in hand. We're gonna get Agent of Treachery next turn. It's not gonna be pretty. So one of my projects, and I don't think this is going to get done in the short term, but probably when I take my week off of being live after Haley's born, people that have been Hoaglandia members for a long time, you'll remember that when we got up to like 30 or 40 modern decks on my website, I created a way I categorized them and added a search function so you could search based on archetype or card names or stuff like that in the deck list. So I think I'm going to set that up again for the historic decks. So I kind of imagine that that historic's going to become like the flavor of the channel for the foreseeable future, and we're probably going to expand the set of standard decks up on this, or the historic's going to become the flavor, and historic will become the main thing we play moving forward. Yeah, because there's like some ones up there that are like ones I'd like to add to the site that are like sweet but not super powerful, but I'd like to put them up there because they're fun. So that way I can like make it very clear, like, these are the decks that I think are competitive, these are the decks that are novel, basically. So, for Modern, I think my categories were Proven, High Potential, Fan Favorite, and Meme. And I think what makes the most sense, because Historic doesn't have, like, a huge competitive scene at the moment, I think it probably makes sense to group them into just competitive, Fan Favorite, Meme, etc. And we'll see, right? Like, Wizards, in one of their announcements, had said they were thinking about doing more with Historic, I believe, so we could see more competitive stuff for the format from WotC 2 once, it's exhausting. This format is exhausting. The play patterns of the good decks are just so frustrating. And, like, they're not even playing the Jeskai Luka deck, right? It's just... I have a small amount of hope for the next deck, because the next deck is at least aggressive. We'll at least have the potential to run people down. Oh, they definitely are playing Luka. We saw Luka in the first game. They 100% have Luka. We might get a chance to do the thing this game, chat. There's a small chance things get done. Alley-oop. I found some friends! Yay! Friends! I mean, to be fair, you know, Croakies is a really good player. Taking the one thing that really works in Standard and trying it in all the different colors makes the most sense in terms of brewing while still being somewhat competitive, right? Like, he gets it. He's good at games, and he understands what the format's about. Joke's on you! I didn't want my 6/6 anyways. I didn't want my 3/3 either. And we're dead, right? Alright, I'm going to be done with this deck, and we're going to move on to the next one. Part of the reason why I queued up 2 standard decks this morning is if they're both dumpster fires, they're going to be quick dumpster fires. Just, again, anybody who has standard decks in my deck queue, if you don't want to change them to other formats, I'm going to play 2 matches. We get dumpstered twice. I'm going to be done. That's my promise. That's my guaranteed minimum when you submit decks to my queue. Normally, in reasonable formats, I try to give them more chances than that, but this is not a reasonable format, and decks like this are not competitive, and there's nothing I can do to make them competitive, so I'm gonna complete the obligation that I promised to complete, and we're gonna throw them at the start of the stream, so we're still building viewers while they happen, and that's gonna be how this is gonna go. Thanks for the 23 months, Fred. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.